Who was that guy right there,
That
number
was,
3? See, you don't even know.
Keldon Johnson.
Keldon Johnson. I think he went to Kentucky, right?
I think he did.
Eldon Keldon.
Keldon Johnson.
Yeah. Okay.
He's having a good year. Johnson
for 3.
Rob, that defense, James.
Rob, you were more entertaining than AD. Congrats.
Thank you.
Kept it going. Speaking of nice tease.
Is he here?
Speaking of AD, 23 points, 10 boards for Anthony Davis. He's speaking with Mike in the media. Now we got him.
Hey, Anthony, Frank had mentioned that this was the first time this season you guys had seen a stretch 5 of Aldridge's capability, and just wondered how it took some time to adjust to that, and if that was a part of just San Antonio being so effective from the perimeter.
It is the first time we've seen it. But we messed up our coverages. We didn't do what we were supposed to do, so we couldn't even tell if our defensive scheme worked for stretch 5. To start the game, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. And he ended up getting 2 threes and I think a mid-range jumper. So we got to be better with our defensive schemes coming out the gate. But it was definitely something different for us tonight, seeing as Coach said, stretch 5, and we just got to be better in our coverages.
Anything you noticed on the just in general about the game, Anthony, that was different compared to the 2 times you saw San Antonio in their building last week?
We didn't play any defense. We didn't play one lick of defense, and them guys did whatever they want. They came into this game very comfortable. Guys made shots, made plays, and we got off to a slow start. And we never, even though we came back and got some stops, we never had the game in control. And we never played defense from the opening tip to the final buzzer. And that's why we lost.
Dan Wookie. Dan, I can't hear you. AD, you can't hear him, can you?
Nope.
All right, we're going to try Dave. Dan, we'll come back.
Can you guys hear me now? You got me now?
Yeah, go Dan.
Sorry about that. Do you think you guys have been a consistent enough defensive team to this stage of the season?
No. Some nights where you bring it defensively and some nights we don't. We have spurts in the game where we're really good defensively, but for an entire 48 minutes on a consistent basis, we haven't. We know it's going to be mistakes. Teams are going to make shots. You're not going to be perfect the entire 48, but we're not executing what we're supposed to do, and our communication has been terrible. I think so. For the first 9 games that we played, and we got to be way better defensively. We want to have a chance to defend our title, and there's no excuse for that. Defense isn't, about schemes and things like that. It's just about energy and effort. It takes nothing to leave it on the defensive end. You can't control on the offensive end if shots go in or not. But defensively, you can control how hard you play. And we playing hard, but we're just we're late on our coverages. Our communication hasn't really been good, and I think we're good in the initial 10 seconds into the clock, even 15 seconds to the clock. It's that second action, third action that teams run that kind of get us. And some things you can't control, a bad miss, or you're closing out on the weak side and God make a tough shot, or a bad bounce or anything like that. But a lot of times it's just us messing up our schemes and not talking, which is leading to open shots or guys at the rim.
How much of that do you think is there was turnover on this team? That you guys are playing a bunch of new guys. You didn't have a ton of practice time. Is that a factor?
It is. Still trying to get guys acclimated to our system, but I think 9 games is plenty. Tonight was a new challenge, like Coach said, with the stretch 5 we haven't seen, and all the guys that was here before kind of know it, but it was new to Dennis and all our other guards west with our schemes. With little practice time and things like that, with the games being right behind each other. It's tough to go over them and get that live reps that you need, but the season's still early. But we definitely have to be better on the defensive end, and I think that we can do that with no practice time, to be honest.
Dave McMenamin. Dave? Oh, they're frozen.
Kind of frustrated a little bit. They felt like they should be getting a few calls. And when you're not getting the calls, you got to play through those.
Final score 118-109. Lakers fall to 6-3 on the year, 2-3 at Staples Center. Let's welcome in Mike Bresnahan. Brez, what do you got tonight?
You know, I feel like maybe the Lakers have been a tired team the last few games. They had the 2 games in Memphis. They trailed by double digits in each one of those games. And then tonight, they gave up 65 points in that first half, guys. And James, you said it a few minutes ago. You said if you're behind, and you're struggling constantly to try to overturn the lead for the opposing team, it adds up, doesn't it? And let's not forget the Lakers, as we've mentioned many times on these shows, only 71 days between winning Game 6 of the finals and opening night just a couple short weeks ago. So maybe they're a little bit of a tired team right now. They're on the road, too, for 4 games, first game back.
I think you hit it right on the nose there. We might not be able to see it, but subconsciously, this team just turned it around so quickly. We don't make excuses because
right.
But you can kind of see it tonight, the slow starts, the inability to kind of sustain a good defense, turn the ball over. They only had 13, but the 5 they had were critical. They kind of gave San Antonio the momentum. So, yeah, they are going to suffer from that, but still got to play the game.
Yeah, no doubt. That's one of the things that I always hated, playing games on the road around the holidays, and you come back, everybody want to celebrate with you. You don't get any rest, and it looked like they were a little, the legs were a little weary out there, and because you have to spend that time with the family. And I know it's the COVID-19, but the immediate family, you want to hang out, spend some time with the kids and stuff. That looked like a team that was just tired, had no legs.
All right, guys, let's hear from Frank Vogel. He's speaking with Mike Trudell and the media.
Hey, Frank, what did you think of the shot quality for San Antonio and all the threes? Was it a mix of good shooting and lack of defense, or how did you see that?
Well, we helped their good shooting with bad defense in the first half. Played a really poor defensive first half. And then when we did make the right coverages, they hit tough shots. You give them credit. They played a terrific basketball game. They really shot the ball well. And they made us pay for any types of mistakes. LaMarcus Aldridge, in particular, had a spectacular game. We didn't handle him well enough at all. As a result, we got outplayed and they got the W.
You mentioned before the game you thought it was going to be difficult to beat a team 3 times in this short of a time span. Was there a way that you tried to get over that mental part of things and try not to give them that advantage? I shouldn't call it advantage, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we talked about it. We know it's a hard thing to do. It's hard. It's a hard thing to come off of a road trip, and the first game's always tough. But when you have a team that you just beat twice in their building, going to be motivated, and we just didn't play well enough to get over that hurdle. It happens, and again, credit to Spurs for playing a great game. Dave?
You guys fell out early and then made that run. It just seemed like you didn't have that extra shot to really go over the hump. Is it a tough thing to manage the energy? I've asked about this before, but if you guys were making a run at your home building with fans in the stands, maybe you draw for that extra bit of whatever juice that you get from the atmosphere. Do you have to go about it a different way?
I think the fans would have an impact in a situation like that, but it doesn't change anything that we're doing, from a coaching standpoint, from a players trying to execute standpoint, energy and adrenaline, I think it could impact, but, it doesn't change anything we're doing. We know we have to do to execute at a high enough level to win the game, and we fell short tonight.
Frank, you guys have been playing these tight games on the road, and then you've been able to kind of pull away in the fourth quarter. Do you feel like anything about that trend maybe came back to bite a little bit when you guys had a 2-point game in the fourth quarter?
Not really. We just didn't make enough plays. I thought we made the right adjustments with the lineup in terms of trying to go small, longer than we did in the first half, which we were having trouble with their spread 5 attack with an all-star at the center position, and we made the right adjustments. We just fell short. We couldn't score the ball at a high enough level in that fourth quarter when we were getting stops during that run, and ultimately weren't able to prevail.
Dan?
Frank, you guys got pretty good minutes, I thought, from Taylor. Was that kind of what you envisioned that he could do in a game like this when energy's a little low, especially offensively, that he could change it with sort of his penetration and playmaking?
Absolutely. He was terrific, in particular in that first half. Really getting into the paint. I think it was in that second quarter. Had a few possessions in a row where he got to the rim, made solid plays, and that's what he's capable of. And when you ask him to play off the ball, he's a great secondary scorer as well. So he definitely gave us a good lift tonight.
Last question, Michael Duarte.
Frank, you mentioned how spectacular Marcus Aldridge was. He wasn't in those 2 games in San Antonio. Just how different and difficult of a task does that make that San Antonio Spurs offense when he's healthy and playing the way he is?
Yeah, they're a different team. There's no doubt about that. He's one of the best, especially when they play him full time with the 5. Makes their offense and their ball movement and penetration really, really difficult to guard. He was terrific tonight, and they're definitely a different team with him in there. So, we could play better than we did against it, but we haven't seen a player of that caliber as a spread 5 yet this season.